Greetings, my light workers. Love, light, and abundance to you all. Welcome to my digital empire. This is Waleta Kidan, aka Key. Today is a yearly celebration of Archangel Gabriel. I am sure if you know about Ethiopian history, especially the history of the Orthodox Church, the ancient Orthodox Church, you are familiar with Archangel Gabriel, or in fact, to all of archangels that are mentioned in the book of Enoch, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel. These are very powerful light beings, high vibrational beings, who are especially here in this time to serve humanity, to guide, to heal humanity. So I'm celebrating here in Kigali, I'm calling on Archangel Gabriel, initiating contact to Archangel Gabriel, summoning his spirit. Even before I made this video, I took a deep breath and I called him to co-create this video with me. So I'm telling you this because you can use it as a way to actually tune into the spiritual world and to for whatever cause that you want. If it's healing that you need, if it's guidance that you need, Archangel Gabriel is one of the most legendary angel that we call in Ethiopia most of the time. But he's also like popular worldwide. I see videos about archangels, videos that are made by Europeans and Americans, so they're not limited to only the Orthodox Church. Like I said, the Orthodox Church, one of the crimes that they committed is being territorial and claiming archangels and saints like Father Tekla Haimanot and Saint George, like as if they were only for the Orthodox Church. But from my understanding and from my experience, personal experience, with each and every one of these light beings, they are here for all of humanity. It doesn't matter whether you are Muslim or Jew. It doesn't matter whether you're white or black. They are here to serve us from time to time. So I'm really excited about this. So let's talk about abuse. I'm here to talk about abuse. In my sleep, something happened last night. Sometimes we see dreams, and in those dreams we are experiencing healing. So my dream was more like as if I was tripping on ayahuasca. If you don't know what ayahuasca is, a plant, it's a plant medicine that's used to heal traumas, past life traumas, core wounds, and it's practiced mostly in Amazon forest and in natural places like by indigenous people most of the time. So I saw me and my African American friend entering a cave in order to experience that plant medicine, the healing of the plant medicine. It was very powerful. I mean, I don't memorize the whole thing, but I knew that I entered when I entered the cave. It's like the cave is a symbol to my subconscious mind. So I kind of touched a deeper aspect of me, a deeper self. I went far deeper in my subconscious and unconscious and sort of revealed my patterns, these repetitive patterns that I've been leaving out up until this point. I'm 31, so I have patterns of abuse. I have patterns of spatially narcissistic abuse. I have patterns of physical abuse and sexual abuse. So it's just they came to the surface for me to see them. And as soon as I woke up, I was repeating this mantra. It goes like, abuse is not love, or love is not abuse, something like that. Abuse is not love, abuse is not love, abuse is not love. Because my love language somehow it's intertwined with abuse because of my childhood experience. Like I said, our childhood experience is very, very crucial to how we see ourselves and to how we actually establish our relationships and like how we relate to others, to our family, to our friends. So I have since I have history of abuse, like different emotional abuse. Abuse is like comes in different ways. There are different types of abuse. There is emotional abuse, there is sexual abuse, there is physical abuse, there is sexual abuse, there is physical abuse. So, whichever way you experienced abuse, and regardless of the type of the abuse, or even the person from whom that you were by whom you were abused by, it doesn't matter. But still, if you have been traumatized in your childhood, you take abuse as a language for love. You mistake abuse for love. It's normal to have that illusion. Trust me, it's not. I know that it's not only me. I know that a majority of people in the world think at some point that being abused is being loved, because that's their experience that they have in their childhood. Now they can't see it otherwise. That's your normal. I hear people, especially women, say, I wouldn't be happy if a man is not jealous of me. If they are not jealous of you when you are talking to other people, or when you're like just when you just live your normal life, if a man is not jealous of you, it's because he doesn't love you. What does that mean? I mean, it's just that you've been abused so much in your childhood, and people took your power away from you, and they made you to think like being wanted is being like emotionally manipulated or being controlled by one way or the other. So now you've grown up, you think that when you are silently treated by someone that you're attracted to, or by a friend that you are close to, you feel like you deserve that treatment. You feel like you did something wrong to deserve that treatment. That's not how the divine loves you. That's not how your creator loves you. That's not how the angels interact with you. Unconditional love looks like full acceptance. Unconditional love looks like a complete trust. Unconditional love looks like a recognition, a deep level of recognition. Unconditional love looks like admiration and appreciation. Unconditional love looks like sharing, giving, and receiving. Anything that's outside of this is abuse. And the reason why you're putting up with all of this abuse is because you don't know how it feels like to live in harmony with people. You have not been taught how to live in harmony with others, and you don't have that skill and that knowledge within yourself. So now you feel like abuse is normal. Of course, as if love cannot exist without a certain type of abuse. So I hear stories all the time. Even I myself have a story of sexual abuse. How it goes is, it's not necessarily that you're raped or molested. Okay, you might be just, you are willing to have this experience, intimate experience with someone, and yet that person is willing to touch you in a certain parts and not touch you in other parts, or they are involved in the sexual act, they are involved only halfway, they don't take you all the way. I mean, I'm not even talking about orgasm, like just having that body gratification, but like I'm trying to tell you about the emotional and the psychological aspect of it, how you are treated by your husband, by your boyfriend, by your girlfriend inside bed, when you're like intimately close to each other, is like affects your psychology, affects how you see yourself. If you are treated like a goddess, it means that you are confident. It means that you're worthy. It means that you're beautiful. If you are treated as if like you are a means to an end, it means that you are unworthy. You don't amount to nothing. That's the voice in your head that led you to that person in the first place. A clear sign that you want to tolerate abuse, you don't think abuse is abnormal, or you don't even um, limit yourself in some way from being abused, is the reason why all of this is happening is because you are traumatized. And none of us, no one is free of trauma. They might claim that they don't have trauma. I hear people say that also, but if you had a very nurturing, loving parents, still society might not be the same way. Or people in your school might have bullied you, like because of your body or because of your mind. For one way or another, we have traumatic events happened to us, which led us to think like that's who we are. We are what happened to us. We are that abuse. So when I see someone who can actually re-traumatize me by abusing me in the same way that I was abused in my childhood, I'm like, oh, there I go. I found my place, myself in you. Let's do this. Give me that identity, right? So abuse is not love, guys. Abuse is not love. It's just as clear as that. If you love someone who's abusing you, if you love them, you can talk to them, you can take them out to dinner, and you can talk to them about what you need in that relationship, and if there is any way that it can be fixed. Now I see couples, for example, they think that it's too late to fix anything. It's been like years now we live together, and I can't leave them because we have children together. So I don't know what to do. I think I'll just tolerate this nonsense for however long it goes. So I put myself in the abused place, and then just I will continue on living like this. It's just you think like that because you don't love yourself enough. And that's not how the creator sees you. Okay? The creator doesn't say sacrifice your happiness, be miserable because you have children. In this case, you are putting them first. No human, no individual can be put before you. It's when you put yourself first that you can actually serve your community in the right way, that you can serve your family in the right way. So now there is that sense of like wanting to give up. I gave up, I tried once, twice. That's not how marriage lasts. That's now the idea of marriage in this time and age. I think it's understood like everything else. It's like everything else. I try a couple of times, I try 10, 15 times, but if it doesn't work, either I ignore it and I become indifferent, or I'll just leave it. That's not the attitude you want when you have a relationship or a friendship. I can't just say, I can tell you you're my best friend, and then we have like just small fights, and then I say, okay, I'm gonna go with my life, bye bye. That's You were never my best friend. If I treat you like that, you were never my best friend in the first place. See, love takes some amount of patience and effort. It's work. It's work. It's been like 3 years since my first spiritual awakening began, and I'm still in that journey. I wake up to my traumas, I wake up to my dreadful feelings, I wake up to a sore body, okay? But I've not given up. I'm here because I'm always constantly with patience healing myself. So I can't treat my partner in the same way, but abuse is not love. If your partner snores at night and it's too loud, tolerate that. It does not have anything to do with the love you have for them. If your partner have like a bad eating habit, like if they binge eat or something, tolerate that. It got nothing to do with the love that you have for them. Love is acceptance. You fully accept them and you don't judge them. Okay? But if they claim to love you and that's why they are jealous of you, it's love and mistrust do not go together. Mistrust and love, they cannot coexist. I can't tell you I love you and at the same time I can't trust you. No. What we are wanting to create is a sacred union, sacred relationship, sacred friendship. That's what I'm going for. Everyone and anyone who is in my intimate circle is I have a sacred connection to them. Okay, of course I can only have a romantic relationship or marriage with one person, but at the same time each and every single one of the people who are in my intimate circle, whom I call my friends or my acquaintances, or even like random people that I keep in touch often, I treat them like a special guests, a special gift from above. I never take anything for granted. That's why I don't agree with the idea of abuse. Whichever way it's done. People abuse you by silent treatment. In this time and age, most people don't even fight because they try to be cool and stuff too. So they don't even physically fight with you anymore. They just emotionally abuse you by just treating you silently. Silent treatment is like I've been treated that way from time to time. Actually, the men I dated and I was attracted to all my life, I would say they have the same pattern with my father. And my father is a covert narcissist, malignant, covert narcissist, whatever it is. It's a covert narcissism. So they all of them they have that pattern of being smooth and calm. They don't show their narcissism from outside, but inside they are like completely emotionally cut off from you, and they are treating you just, they're always silent and they treat you with indifference. Imagine how bad that is. Actually, there's situations in life where you might even choose physical abuse than an abuse like this because of the lasting effect it has. Sometimes it's malignant. Okay, I remember malignant covert narcissist. I want you to look it up. It's just, it's a very complicated situation. So anyways, back to the point. The physical abuse, maybe if you're abused physically, like beaten, for example, or something like that, you might heal from that like in a week. Then you can heal from an emotional abuse, because the lasting effect it has on you, it's very dense and it's detrimental actually when you are emotionally abused. And there's psychological abuse, there are people who want to call you crazy, crazy projection. They project their insecurities onto you. They project their doubts onto you. Like, there are people who just want to give you names without actually even knowing how you live your life, because you trigger them. You trigger their deepest wound, deepest core wounds, so they don't know how to react to you, so they try to emotionally and psychologically abuse you. So abuse is not love. It can never be love. If you are tolerating abuse because you think and you feel that you are in love with someone, you're not in love with them. You're just traumatized, and it's your inner child that's attracted to them because of the reaffirmation of the sense of self that you are getting through that interaction. So, my friend, I mean, no one is that important. No one is that important. You are the star in your own movie. You are the star of the movie. You can decide now, at this point, right now, while watching this movie, I am no longer tolerating abuse of any kind because I love myself, because the divine loves me unconditionally. In fact, I am loved, I'm adored by source energy. I'm not dependent on this person for to validate me, to approve of me, to tell me about me. I know the healing journey can be difficult. It can even be messy, but I can do it for myself because I love myself. That should be your attitude. Even at some point, I noticed that people who advocate for women, for example, women rights, people who advocate for um, protection of children, these are the same people who are like abusers actually. In the same way that priests and popes use their status and power to steal from the church, these people who are advocate of women rights, children rights, the same people are the same, the ones who abuse women and children, who abuse society. It's the people who don't speak anything that I see are genuine and gentle with their interaction with other human beings. So you can imagine how difficult it is. But I'm not like trying to actually demonize or judge people who are abuser, or like for the abuser and the abuse to meet, there has to be equally dysfunctional pattern in both of these people. I cannot be attracting to an abuser when I'm not in the position of the abused. So I'm just telling you to take responsibility, whether the abuser or the abused, take responsibility for how you feel. Know that you are powerful, know that you're divine, and then just make your way out of that abuse. Either try to solve it with them by talking to them, by working on the relationship, or just detach yourself from that. Trust me, it doesn't matter if you are a disabled person living with your mother. If you are being abused, dare to be in the streets and see if if God won't be there for you. When we make a decision, every time that I break out of a pattern like this, and when I say like I am me, I love me, I want to be with me, I want to just walk it, like, walk this journey with courage and with charisma and with love in my heart. Every time I break out of patterns like this, I will be surprised with more more reward, like I would call it reward. It's a blessing, whenever we want, we detach ourselves from something that's not for us and for our highest good. The universe just sends us something even greater than our wildest dreams. That's how it goes. So psychology tells you if you are a sociopath, if you are like a narcissist, you can't heal. I don't agree with psychology, because mainly because I'm African, I'm Ethiopian. I have seen people in Ethiopia healing from cancer just by an act of faith and just by a ceremony of holy water stations. In Ethiopia, we have so many wonderful, mysterious places where you can go into and just experience a magical, I would call it a magical healing, just a marvelous sense of healing and relief. Okay, so how does that happen? Because the place is sacred. It's a blessed land with a history of healers, with a history of saints and angels. It's not a joke. So I saw people healing from cancer. I can't say to anyone, you can't heal from the situation. In my thinking, it's not only thinking, in my feeling, I know that anything and everything can be healed. What it takes is your willingness. What it takes is your determination. What it takes is your relationship with the divine, with God, with source energy. So if you are a sociopath, if you're watching this video and if it just touch you even somewhere just in your being, know that you have hope. Know that you can do it. Okay? Whatever psychology says, they tell you what the science of the biology of human beings is. They study neuroscience, they study the makings of your chemicals in your body and your mind, and then they tell you, you can't heal from this, you can heal from this. But that's not how it works in the quantum physics. That's not how it works in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, anything and everything can be healed with faith, with archangels, with meditation, with exercise. Okay, with observing your mind and knowing yourself. Know they self. Know they self. If you are tolerating abuse, it's because there is a part of you that you don't yet know and understand. Okay, if you are tolerating abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, it's because of your own shadow. There is an unconscious part of you that's not seeing things clearly. Either you are codependent and you're afraid now, if you leave the narcissist, it would mean that you'll be in the streets and you don't have anything to eat. And that's just fear. Fear is like an entity that's feeding on your negative emotions and thoughts from time to time. Cut the chain. Let that entity die and see what happens. Trust me, I had this fear. The reason why I put up with abuse with my exes, even when those people were not satisfying to me sexually, emotionally, in any way, the reason why I put up with them is because I thought I found myself in them. I didn't have a sense of self. I didn't know who I was. I was just kind of blending in that story. There was a mixed signal that I was sending. But once I understood who I am and the gifts that I have and the things that I can offer to the world, hell no. If it means that I'm not going to manifest, for example, just I know that I will manifest a sacred partnership, marriage. That's what I'm going for. I know that it's written in the stars. But even if it means that I wouldn't manifest a relationship like this, I don't mind being by myself. I'm an ancient soul. I've seen it all. I remember having children, being a mother, being a queen, being this or that, having this, having that. I know that. So in this lifetime, maybe I'm meant to be by myself. Just, traveling, seeing things, healing people, teaching people, learning from people, just being myself. It's not a problem to me. I'm not any longer dependent on the idea that I need to have someone to get to where I want to be. That's just the traditional belief I had. Even with my twin flame, I thought that, since he came with his own programming and I came with my own programming for this mission, unless otherwise we come together, it wouldn't happen, whatever, whatever. But now I feel like I can do my part and still add up to the cup. It's still going to make a difference. And that's just what matters. There is no resistance in me now. So, guys, if you're afraid of walking away because you love this person and you think like there is no one that's going to love you in the same way, that's just an illusion, I tell you. There is so much that you haven't seen. Since I came to Kigali, I just like I would meet people, I would talk to them about work and stuff like that, and I haven't yet seen anything. I mean, how come I dared to say that, like, you know, I'm good, I've seen it all. So how can I even make a decision, honestly? I mean, when it comes to relationships, okay, I understand because I don't take anything for granted. Everything has its own purpose, yeah? So it doesn't matter if I'm 50 or 60, somewhere in the future, I might still keep people that I know from this time because people are different. And it doesn't mean just because there are better looking people or rich people out there or like advanced souls or whatever the goal is in pursuing a relationship for each and every one of us, it doesn't mean that we can't be bonding with someone that we at the present moment love and we are fascinated by. In fact, if it's a soul connection, you would know that it's the dead end. That's how I feel about my twin flame. But at the same time, if it's not him, I know it's going to be someone else. And if I'm meant to manifest a sacred relationship, union, and marriage, the feeling is what I want. That feeling of being seen and acknowledged and respected. Respect is everything. I think the one thing that I would like to tell you, like in relation to abuse, tolerating abuse, it's about self respect also. If you respect yourself, you will respect your partner. If you respect yourself, you respect your children, you respect your society, the community, all right? So it's all about self respect. And respect is, I thought sometime, like respect is something that people have to earn, but I don't think so. Now I think like everyone deserves to be respected just because they are human beings. They were made by the hands of God. They deserve to be respected. I might respect you more or less, if you are a serial killer, I might not even respect you because now you are expressing your humanity in the most destructive way. If you are someone who is writing history, who's learning something new, if you are someone who is like a pan-Africanist, for example, like I am, I would respect you more because I see you. I see that you are shaking the energy of the planet, and I love it. Okay, but by default, just everything and everyone deserves a certain amount of respect, in my opinion. So it's all about self-respect. If I respect myself, if I respect my body, the sacredness of my body, the holiness of my spirit, I wouldn't let anyone to abuse me, either emotionally or psychologically. I wouldn't let anyone to not respond to me when I speak to them. I wouldn't let anyone to look down on me because I'm a woman or because I'm black or whatever. I wouldn't let anyone to make assumptions about me and then reach conclusion. If that's what they want, they can, but they cannot come to my face and tell me those things and still expect me to be okay with that. Abuse is not love. Rastafari.